a lot of ex-NFL players have pointed out on video that you guys had a lot of trouble with pick plays over the middle. How do you guys go about addressing that?
You know, we corrected the film when they came back in on Wednesday, and it's about just again, I gotta do a better job. Obviously, I didn't do a good enough job, preparing for that. But we're gonna get presented with the same problems and issues this week with Chicago. They got a bunch of good receivers. They do a great job down in the red area. They got so many targets down there, and then how they disguise their looks and in terms of the proximity of receivers close to one another. And I got to do a better job of coaching that, and we'll address it. For best thing to do to address it is go through practice. You go off the tape, then you get to practice, and I'm looking forward to today to get that opportunity.
Sometimes those get flagged, sometimes they don't. Rub routes or pick plays. Can you just have to play it like you assume it's not going to be a penalty?
Well, you guys, they're doing it within the rules. Teams, they got the rule book too, so I don't think anybody is purposely going out there trying to break rules on rub routes. Or they'll get flagged. The officials do a great job, I think, so everything within the rules. We have ways to combat that. And every week you're gonna have to deal with that. This week we're dealing with Chicago, and I'm sure they have some in their arsenal. And going back on the tape, whether it's the Detroit game or last season, we just got prepared to handle those better. And I got to do a better job of coaching it, obviously.
Duggan?
Hey, Pat. Curious what you saw out of that second cornerback spot. Obviously, Corey played the majority of the game there from him, and then the couple of snaps Ike got.
Again, I think leading into this week, because of what we're dealing with Chicago, with the receivers and to include the tight end, we're going to still have guys competing at those spots. I thought, everybody competed pretty hard on Monday night. Joe pointed that out, but really, no offense, but my focus is Thursday. My focus is now I'm on, third down, red area for Chicago. So, I know this. The guys are ready to go work today in practice, and, the competition's still there. I like this group. They were competing today in the meeting room, just in terms of who's on top of what, So, it's a good situation for all those guys and the guys we have in the room.
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah.
Lombardo?
Hey, Pat, how's it going, man?
What's up?
Hey, real quick, what makes Allen Robinson such a tough matchup? And, do you have to give consideration to maybe giving extra help over the top because of his ability to make big plays down the field?
I think what makes him special, his catch radius, again, that's one of those, I remember when I first heard that, I was like, what in the world does that mean? But his catch radius, is pretty good. I think he's competitive. He's really, really competitive. And, whether it's, at the line of scrimmage or further down the field, getting open away from defenders and the finish on the ball. He does a great job of tracking the ball and bringing it away from defenders' hands and always ending up with the ball. So, of course, when you got a go-to guy like that, and obviously he's a big target for a heavy target for the quarterback in terms of going to him. We have to adjust, and whether it's a matchup thing or just an awareness and coverage. But you always have to adjust for those great players. Anytime it's a great player, I don't know when you wouldn't adjust or have some awareness of those guys. Now, sometimes the plan works out and sometimes it doesn't. But, I don't think purposely we're going into, anytime you got a good player, one of those great players, you have to do something to adjust to it, and hopefully the plan works out.
What goes into the decision to have somebody travel or not against a receiver like him or, down the line, somebody like Chris Godwin or Mike Evans or one of these big receivers? What goes into the decision to stick to what you're doing or, okay, this is a guy that I need to isolate my best cornerback against?
Well, it's based on the matchup, really. This league is so people-driven. It's all about the matchup because your best cover guy, is he best suited to cover that their best player? Say you got a perimeter corner who's your best player, but their best player is a slot shifty guy. Is that what you want to do? I don't know. You have to think through that. So, again, always trying to put our guys in the best spots, but you have to think about how it matches up with their skill set. That's what I take into consideration. And then also you got to think about the other members of the secondary. Is there a ripple effect throughout the secondary? If, what do you have on the other side too? So.
Cool. Thanks, man.
No problem.
We got time. We got time for two more. Pat Leonard and Jordan. Pat Leonard.
Hey, Pat, a couple things here. Was Blake Martinez everything you wanted him to be at the middle of your defense? And then Bradbury strips the ball for that fumble. Would you like to see your guys come up with that with so many bodies there, or is that just a good play by Juju?
I thought James did a great job of getting the ball from him. I mean, that's something we practice every day. We're going to continue practicing it throughout the year. You know, whether it's our ball disruption periods, just trying to get the ball off guys. So I was happy about that. Pittsburgh they did such a good job of protecting the ball, and Chicago does as well. We got to earn those opportunities to get the ball. So when it's out on the ground, yeah, we would love to get it. Would love to get it. And as for Blake, I mean, Blake's been doing everything we asked him to do so far, and except for I asked him for $10, but he didn't let me get that. But I mean, I figured, he's being a little cheap there, I guess. But yeah, Blake knows he has stuff to work on. The beauty about Blake and having known him for a while, he wants to be the best he can be, and he knows that we're going to push him to do that, and he appreciates that. He loves to be coached. That's the one thing I know about that man. He loves to be coached, and so is it everything we want right now? Absolutely not. He wouldn't say that either. He knows we got ways to go, and the beauty about it is he wants to improve. So that's the good thing.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Last one here, Jordan.
Hey, Pat, you talked about, perimeter corners and whether you want to move them inside or not. Well, the Steelers like to move Juju inside. The Bears, if you watched last year, I'm sure they did it plenty when they played the Giants. Is Bradbury, do you consider him a perimeter corner? Would you like him to go inside? How do you view that?
I mean, the label, I think James is just a very good defensive back. And, James has been able to play inside, outside. He's been able to do anything we've asked him to do. So I was really just putting that out there just in terms of like the generic labels. To me, a corner's a corner. I'm looking for guys, hopefully, that are tough, that can tackle, and that can get their hands on people and run. Do we label the positions, perimeters, inside, corner? Yeah, but again, it's about the matchup. So it's who you want to put this guy on or near, and then what's the ripple effect throughout the secondary. So it's not always based on the one person. It could be a domino effect, a ripple effect, or whichever one's right. But in terms of how the secondary would have to adjust if we put somebody on a certain guy. And plus, early in the season, who knows? Where we're at now, we're not. Hopefully, that's not where we're going to be at. And where we were at last week, hopefully, we're going to be like Joe talked about. We'll be improved for Sunday, and then 3 weeks from now, hopefully, we're way more improved than that. So who knows? Where
so building off that, what did you think of the overall defense the other day, and what are you expecting? What do you want to see this week get better?
What did I think? Again, I'm not living in the past, but it wasn't good enough. Guys played hard, but we know we got ways to go. But week one, and we didn't get the win. We didn't do enough to get the win. So that's on me. I have to do a better job. It starts with me. And then from this week, I know this. We had some good film sessions. We had good walkthroughs, and now getting to practice today. The thing we have to get better at is the stuff we talk about all the time. We got to improve our football position, in terms of our eyes, hands, and our feet. We got to improve our tackling. We got to work on that today, in terms of our entry and being ready to handle these space players. And then, when it gets down to the run game, playing with good pad level, playing with our hands, getting extension, getting off blocks, passing game, affecting the quarterback, playing our leverage, defending the deep part of the field. That's the stuff we got to work on. It seems like a lot, but that's our daily checklist in terms of what we want to do to be a good defense. And then just improving upon the situations. So, that's on me to get that better and do a better job coaching it, and that's what we're going to work on today.